Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Thursday, November 18, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. San Antonio Spurs vs Minnesota Timberwolves. San Antonio is averaging 108.3 points per game. They scored 92 points in their last game, making 43.2% of their field goals and 22.7% of their three-pointers. Dejounte Murray led the way for San Antonio with 26 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, and 3 steals. Derek White finished with 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists, while Thaddeus Young added 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. San Antonio has played well defensively, giving up 109.2 points per game. They gave up 106 points in their last game and will need a similar effort if they want to get the win. Our first betting advice is to pick Minnesota Timberwolves, -2.5. Granted, it does need to be said that San Antonio is actually playing great defense on the road. They're holding opponents to 104.8 points per game on 45.8% shooting. So nothing will come easy for a Timberwolves team sitting near the bottom of the league with the 6th worst defensive efficiency rating. No other player outside of the 3 stars is averaging in double scoring figures, and Minnesota isn't scaring anyone defensively. That isn't to say they couldn't run roughshod over a Spurs team with even more problems, but it also shouldn't be a foregone conclusion, either. It marked the 3rd straight time the team has been beaten in a tough slate that also included run-ins with the Los Angeles Lakers and Dallas Mavericks. Perhaps things will finally even out a bit with the Timberwolves next on the itinerary. No, the Spurs haven't been good on the road, but the Wolves haven't been good at home, either. Scoring has been a significant problem on the road for a Spurs team that actually boasts the #1 ranked scoring offense at home this season. They're averaging 101.1 points per game away from their home building, as opposed to 118 points. It's a major drop-off in production and a problem area that could continue to haunt them on Thursday. And the Timberwolves are no defensive pushovers at home, either. With center Jakob Poeltl still out of action for the Spurs, it's going to take major offensive contributions from both Murray and Keldon Johnson to knock off the Wolves on the road. Our second betting advice is to pick under 222.5. Toronto Raptors vs Utah Jazz. The Raptors are averaging 105.9 points per game on 44% shooting through their first 15 games this season. Anunoby has ramped up his offensive game in a big way during his 4th year. The former Indiana product is averaging 20.1 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 2.7 assists through the early season and has filled in nicely after the departure of Kyle Lowry. The Raptors need more production out of Siakam, 17 ppg, in order to be relevant in the Eastern Conference this season. Rudy Gobert has collected 11 or more rebounds in 13 of 14 games this season and has continued his torrid pace from last year. Off-season free agent Rudy Gay has begun joining practices and may play later this week for the first time as a member of the club. He will add another element to a club desperately needing help on the wing. Utah figures to be a player in the Western Conference race. Our first betting advice is to pick Toronto Raptors +9. Off-season acquisition Rudy Gay has begun joining practices and may play later this week for the first time in a Jazz uniform. Gay has been dealing with a heel injury and was thought to be a solid acquisition for Utah after proving that he could be a team player in San Antonio. Gay shot 38.1% from three-point range off of the bench last season, the 3rd highest mark of his NBA career. According to dunksandthrees.com, the Jazz rank near the top of the league on both ends of the floor. Utah sports the NBA's #1 offense with an adjusted 113.4 offensive rating, and it ranks 6th defensively with an adjusted 103.8 mark. Combined, that gives the Jazz a +9.6 net rating, good for the 2nd best mark in the NBA. While Siakam's return should undoubtedly improve the Raptors in the long run, the biggest story in Toronto has been the development of Anunoby, who has taken a major leap forward on offense this season. While his percentages are down a bit this season, Anunoby's transformation into a go-to scorer has been evident on the floor. The 24-year-old leads the team in scoring at 20.1 points per game while shooting 43.0% from the field and 36.6% from three-point range. According to dunksandthrees.com, the Raptors sit in 14th in the league with an adjusted plus 1.4 net rating. Toronto owns a healthy 111.1 adjusted offensive rating through 15 games, but it ranks 21st defensively with an adjusted 109.7 mark. Our second betting advice is to pick under. Quick reminder, BetUS is a platform that offers betting on all major sport and horse racing leagues. It has slots, table games, blackjack, and a variety of other casino games. All of the major US leagues are available for betting, including the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and PGA. In addition, BetUS allows wagers on esports, Olympic events, soccer, cricket, boxing, cycling, and many more competitions. Join BetUS now using our link down below and get 125% cashback bonus on your first deposit on the sportsbook after you open an account and deposit using our link and use our promo code HIGHSTAKES. Philadelphia 76ers vs Denver Nuggets. Philly started out the season on a hot note but have since lost 5 of their last 6 games. Of course, that has a lot to do with their star Joel Embiid missing games due to being in COVID protocol. The big man is expected to be out for this game against the Nuggets, and they'll have to find some production out of their backups. Andre Drummond has been awful, both offensively and defensively, and has been an extreme liability for Coach Rivers' club. They need Embiid back, and soon. Denver entered allowing 98 points per game, the fewest in the NBA. Nuggets guard Will Barton, the team leader in minutes per game, missed his second consecutive game with lower back tightness. It was the 4th time in 14 games this season that Denver has allowed 100 or more points. They have been rock solid defensively, ranking 3rd in defensive rating. As long as they remain healthy, Denver will be in the mix later in the season atop the Western Conference standings. Our first betting advice is to pick Denver Nuggets, -8. The Nuggets have won their last 6 straight home games this season. If they can put any sort of offensive pressure on the Sixers, they can put this game out of reach early. This is not a game where Philly wants to be playing from behind. The defense is obviously struggling with key players, including Joel Embiid, absent from the lineup. Nikola Jokic could have a field day on both ends of the floor with the Sixers if they can't clean up their act ahead of this game. But then again, the Nuggets are clearly missing Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray's offensive contributions. Will Barton, the team's second leading scorer, is listed as probable to play in this game, but he's also working through a back injury. Both Joel Embiid and Matisse Thybulle are still in the COVID-19 protocols, and Danny Green has also been out with an injury. It's an uphill battle for the Sixers right now that could get even steeper on Thursday night. Denver has only lost once at home so far this season. There will be no Embiid down low to compete with the reigning NBA MVP, Nikola Jokic. Where the Nuggets lack potency on offense, they make up for it leaps and bounds on the defensive end of the floor. They carry the 3rd highest efficiency rating in the league with opposing teams averaging 98.9 points per game against them. Our second betting advice is to pick under.